Hi everybody, welcome back to Push and Paint. I know that it's been a bit since I made a video, and I've got some more full paintings heading your way, but today I'm going to do a nice short instructional video. So you see me paint some clouds in the paintings, but I'm going to get up close and personal here and show you specifically the process. So it's just a nice short little tutorial, and you can follow along. You can use acrylic paints, you can use oil paints. I'm using oil paints because that's what I'm comfortable with. So grab your stuff, let's get started. Okay, you can see here we've got our canvas set up with the linseed oil and titanium white mixed together, and then we went ahead and put some blue on the background. Now for a cloud, what we're going to do, you're going to get your basic form of the cloud first. So, and we're just going to do these real quick, but you're going to sort of get the idea. So I've got a filbert brush here, and we're just going to start putting in where we want our cloud to look like, you know, what we want our cloud to look like. Okay. Don't be afraid to put a good amount of paint on the canvas, because you're going to move that paint around. Okay. And these spots with the bright white are going to get blended, and then we're going to come back and put some highlights. We're going to do a nice bright cloud that you would see on a bright sunny day. We're going to try one that's maybe got a little bit of gray on the bottom because it's maybe a big thunderhead getting started. Okay, different things like that. Don't be afraid to leave some blank spaces. Okay, clouds all the time, they get those blank spots in them. Okay, and that is just your sky being seen through the cloud. Okay, so we're gonna, you see how I'm leaving this little gap right here, and we're gonna blend that so it's not gonna be quite so visible. You know, sometimes clouds have got a flat bottom, sometimes they don't. It's up to you. Okay, we're gonna put a nice puffy edge coming up here, and this guy's gonna go off here like so. Okay, so that's our basic form. We might want a little more paint there. What works really well for this too is a fan brush, because a fan brush can pick up a bit more paint than a filbert. A filbert's gonna shove around the paint that you've already got on the canvas. Okay, so we'll come back to that filbert in a minute. Now what we're gonna do is take our blending brush, nice soft bristle blending brush, and we're gonna little circles with the corner of the brush. So you're just using that little bit right there, and we're just gonna sort of swirl it around. That's gonna blend our white and smooth out that cloud. You're just barely touching it. Okay, just softening those edges, kind of going in the motion here. Okay, and you're gonna sweep that cloud up. When you do your sky and you finish blending your sky out, you sweep it to the side like this. And you can do a little sweep motion like that too, but very softly. Okay, you got that linseed oil on the canvas, so that's going to make it nice and blendable like that. Okay, and we see how soft that cloud looks. Now, I say to myself, I want some more highlight on that cloud. I want some more body to it. So we're just going to go in, we're going to put some more down. And again, this is just however you want it to look. It's your sky, your world. You do it how you want. Okay? This is just me on my sky. And you see those nice dots of paint there too. They're gonna, those bright white highlights are gonna show up, and that'll give you those nice peaks of those clouds that you see. Switch back to our blender brush here. We just soften that out. Okay, just like so. Just soften it out. Now, if you get too much paint on your brush, grab your shop towel and just wipe off the excess paint. Give it a squish like that. Pull that off the brush. Nice and gentle. You don't want to pull all your bristles out, but you just know that you're starting to get too much on there. You can tell. You'll be able to tell when you're doing it. Okay. Now we got a nice, soft, puffy cloud. We grab our fan brush. Okay. Now we're going to make this one a bigger cloud with some gray on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to give ourselves a little curl here. Come down. Nice little secondary puff that you can see there. And again, we're just filling in the bottom here. But we're going to blend that. So it's going to soften those edges up. Looks like I got a little gray in there already. I accidentally had a little black on the brush. It's okay. We'll fix it. Or we'll make it work. It's the best thing about painting is if you don't like what you did, you can just keep going. Just paint over it. Okay. So we're going to give ourselves a nice little underbelly down here to this cloud. Okay. We'll come back and we're going to blend that in. Same blender brush. Same technique. Corner of the brush. Little swirls. Just kind of swooshing that together. You see how it just softens that right out. Okay. We're going to come and we're going to add some low lights and some highlights to this guy. And you can see those blue spots where it gets nice and thin and the sky shows right through. That's what I like. Makes for a dynamic looking cloud. Get a little bristle coming off your brush, just sweep it off like that. Real quick. Like that. And pull it off the brush. Got him. There he is. Like so. Okay. We got our base set in. Now, we're going to come along with a little bit of the black, a little bit of the blue. And it might not seem that dark on your palette, but in contrast to these really bright colors, that's going to look pretty dark. Okay. And we're going to give him kind of an underneath. Okay, so we're just going to feed him in there. We're just giving our bottom here, just like that. Give a little bit of low light right in there. Nice and simple. We're going to blend that in. See how that all just sort of fits together. Gives us that nice stormy cloud. Just like that. Like that. We'll put some highlights in there. Get a little bit of that stark white on there. Titanium white. You're going to use a lot of that, depending on your painting. But that's your universal lightener. Now see, when you add these highlights in, what that's going to do too is, brush hair out of there. There we go. What that's going to do is add that richness and detail to your painting that you're looking for, so that it's not just a blurry mess. You see, we can add those little highlights here and there, little bits of white, little bits of detail. Okay, and that's the difference between something that looks, you know, like you're just starting out, and something that looks like you put some time and effort into it and you've been practicing a little, you know, those little details here and there. Little bits right there. The more of these little tiny brush strokes you make, the better everything's going to look. I promise you. You know, you do the big broad strokes first, you do the big stuff first, you do the big trees, you do everything, and then you add lots of little details here and there, and you keep working those details in, and everything starts to come together, and your painting looks so much better when you're done. And you see, I'm mostly using the paint on the canvas and paint on the brush, and just filling that all in. I'm gonna put a nice little highlight right there. Boop. Right there. There. You can see we got quite a bit more character on that one now. He might even have a storm brewing in him somewhere. And you know, you can deepen that with a little bit of blue and some red and some gray. Make your little purple on the bottom. You know, you just give them those little deep touches of shadow. We're going to blend these in. Get the excess paint off your brush. Come back in with your filbert. Tap those details. Tap those details in so that they become part of the cloud as opposed to a piece that stands out. Okay? Just like that. I like that little dark spot we got going on there, so I'm going to make him just a bit stronger. Right in there. Just a bit. Giving myself a nice wild edge. Right? Wipe off the excess paint. Come back in. Tap those details in. Blend them out a little bit. The more you tap, the more you push, the more blended it'll be. Okay? We're going to highlight that right there. So we're going to come back with our white right there. Give us a nice little cap. So it looks like we have a shadow of cloud. A shadow in the cloud, which you will see all the time. You see shadows in your clouds. Again, when you start to pay attention out in nature, you start to see things and you say, I could paint that. That's really the best part, is seeing something outside and saying, I can paint that, and coming home and put it on a canvas. And you see how fun that looks. We get lots of nice little ins and outs and little brush hairs that we don't want. Tap him out. There we go. It's our more dynamic cloud. So, those are the basics of clouds. I know this is a nice short little video, and we can do some other stuff here soon. We can work on some trees, we can work on some rocks, we can work on all kinds of things. Maybe some reflective water. But anyway, that's the basics of clouds right there. So I hope you learned a little something, and I hope you have fun doing this yourself as well. It's not just about watching me. That might be fun for you too, but I encourage you to grab your stuff and paint along. We'll get to another lesson here soon. Keep on pushing paint around.